Alright, cue the dim lights, the dossier folder sliding across the table, and that one chair that always squeaks at the wrong moment. Listen, the world doesn't fall apart loudly anymore. It updates quietly. While you're scrolling memes, systems are shifting, pipelines are rerouting, and entire economies are subtly panicking. So today, I'm not giving you headlines. I'm giving you the 10 stories from the past 2 weeks that look small, but hit like dominoes. Let's open the dossier. 1. Nigeria's fires that nobody connected. Nigeria's recent fires weren't just random incidents. They exposed something deeper, fragile energy infrastructure in a country that powers a chunk of Africa. When energy systems wobble in Nigeria, it's not local, it's continental. Because here's a twist, while the world is distracted by global conflicts, Africa's internal supply chains are quietly under pressure, and pressure always finds a breaking point. 2. The Strait of Hormuz is basically a global heart attack. Let's not sugarcoat it. The Strait of Hormuz is the world's oil artery, and right now, it's choking. Nearly 20% of global oil flows through it. Tankers are getting hit. Shipping is slowing down, insurance costs are skyrocketing, and the result, global energy markets are acting like they just saw a ghost. In fact, experts are saying this crisis is worse than the 1970s oil shock, which is the economist language for yeah, this could get expensive. 3. The hidden pipeline strategy, bypassing the chaos. Here's what most people missed. When a choke point like Hormuz becomes unstable, the world doesn't wait. It reroutes. Countries are now exploring alternative shipping routes, using ports outside the Gulf, even rerouting oil around Africa. Some tankers are literally taking the long way around the planet just to avoid the risk. That's not inefficiency, that's survival logistics. And whoever controls these alternative routes controls the next phase of global trade. 4. Kenya is already feeling it, quietly. Now zoom in. Right here, fuel shortages are creeping into Kenya. About 20% of fuel stations affected, panic buying, starting prices frozen artificially, all because shipments tied to Hormuz are disrupted, which creates a weird situation. Fuel exists, but access to it starts behaving like concert tickets. Rare, strategic, slightly chaotic. 5. The war that's actually about energy. Everyone is talking about conflict in the Middle East like it's political. It is, but it's also deeply economic. Energy facilities are being directly targeted. Gas fields, hedge refineries, damaged LNG exports disrupted at one point. Gas prices in Europe jumped 35%. That's not just war, that's economic pressure with missiles attached. 6. The food crisis nobody is talking about yet. Here's where it gets sneaky. The Hormuz disruption isn't just about oil, it's about fertilizer. And fertilizer equals food. The World Trade Organization is already warning. Supply disruptions lower harvest, higher food prices. Translation: your future grocery bill is quietly loading. 7. Global trade is slowing without announcing it. Shipping routes are getting longer. Insurance is getting expensive. Risk is rising. So what happens? Trade slows down, but no one says it out loud. It's like traffic. No one announces, there's a jam. You just sit in it. 8. Markets are reacting before news again. Here's the part most people miss. Markets already knew something was wrong. Before headlines, oil prices surged, energy stocks shifted, volatility spiked. Because markets don't wait for confirmation, they react to structure, which is why by the time news reaches you, the opportunity already left the chat. 9. Migration patterns are quietly shifting. Now let's talk about something subtle but powerful. Groups relocating, communities moving. Even reports of niche groups, including Israelite-linked movements into places like Nakuru and Nigeria, signal something deeper. People are repositioning, not just financially, geographically. And when people start moving before crises fully hit, that's not randomness, that's early adaptation. 10. New laws quiet power shifts. While all this is happening, governments are passing laws, adjusting controls, tweaking systems, and the truth? Big changes rarely come as loud announcements. They come as minor policy updates, temporary regulations, stability measures, which is basically government language for something bigger is happening, we're preparing. So here's the pattern. Not chaos, not coincidence, transition, energy routes shifting, markets adapting, supply chains bending, people moving, and all of it happening just quiet enough that most people don't notice until it's too late. But now you see it. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Final line, or my signature close. This has been your Dose of Dossier. And remember, the world doesn't break first. It rearranges itself.